Hello and welcome. My name is Michi, and this was supposed to be a get ready with me for the Renaissance Fair. Unfortunately, the weekend that I was supposed to attend, my family was beset by illness, and so I wasn't able to go. I had been planning it for about 6 months, and so I was really disappointed. So in lieu of that, I want to still show you what I created. So I had 3 goals in mind when I was looking to put this outfit together. Goal number 1 was that I knew that I wanted it to be fantasy inspired. Normally when I attend Ren Fair, I am going as an actor and I have really strict rules about what I can wear for my station and for my character. And because I was going to be attending as a patron, I really wanted to just push the boundaries and go in a really fantastical direction and just have a lot of fun with it. Goal number 2 was that I wanted it to be autumn themed. We were supposed to go on the first day of autumn, and I really wanted to get into the spirit of my favorite season and really lean into that. Goal number 3, I wanted to try to make this as cost effective as possible. The economy is rough and I can't really afford to spend a lot of extra funds on putting together a new outfit, but I still wanted to do something that was really fun. So I dove into my closet to start seeing what I could put together, and I actually was able to come up with quite a few outfits because my daily style just tends to make people ask, "Oh, are you in a play?" I have lots of long skirts and drapey bell sleeves and the like. So while I had a lot of options available, that also proved to be a little bit of a challenge because I have worn nearly every outfit to pick up my kids from school at some point. And I really wanted to wear something special because this was going to be a really special occasion for me. So this outfit in particular really inspired me, particularly because of the skirt. I absolutely loved the color of the skirt, and the movement was just mwah, chef's kiss. The challenge for me was to find a way to use it that made it feel a little bit more elevated. And so I went back looking through my closet and my fabric stash to see what else I could come up with. I've come up with a solution, and I'm really excited about this particular solution because it involves things that I already have. So I remembered that I have, can you see that okay? I have this pattern. It's a Firefly Path simplicity pattern that I got quite a long time ago, actually. And I've never used it. I've actually, full disclosure, I've actually already started on doing this now. But I remembered that I had this pattern. And then I remembered that I had this fabric. And I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera here, but it's, it's kind of sheer. And so this is going to be my overlay, and I think it has like that perfect like autumn sort of vibes, and then with the gold skirt, it's going to be just beautiful. So I've already started, I've cut out like all the pieces. I'm actually now on kind of the sewing portion, but I'm really excited because I have all of this stuff already, and I don't think I'm going to have to actually buy anything to make this happen. It is definitely a time commitment because this pattern has about 10 billion pieces. So just heads up if you ever are going to do this, like it is an endeavor for cutting and sewing, but it's coming along already, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm not doing the whole thing. Like I'm not going to do the cape portion of it. I'm just doing the corset and the overlay skirt because I already have that gold colored skirt that I'm going to use for the base. And then instead of obviously being, blue and flowers, I'm going to do the brown, and I'm going to use like autumn leaves and beads and things. So I'm really excited, and now I just have to try and get it done before autumn. So you wish me luck on that because it's a lot. So I'm glad I got started when I did. Okay, carrying on. And here's how I know that I am learning and growing as a sewist, and I'm going to toot my own horn here, but I actually made a mock-up for this project. Normally, I am an absolute gremlin and will just cut right into my fashion fabric and just make it work. But with this one, I did actually take the time to make a mock-up, primarily because I was concerned about how many pieces this was, but also because I had heard that sizing on this pattern was a little bit iffy, and I'm so glad that I made the mock-up because it did end up being I did end up having to go several sizes down in this pattern based on what the measurements were on the package. So I'm really glad that I did a mock-up first and made sure that everything fit just right. Welcome to my kitchen sink. Basically where we're at now is I've got my corset, bodice, whatever you want to call it. I have the top portion of my costume, but it's all made out of just white cotton. So I'm gonna dye it. And I've already accidentally spilled some dye on it, as you can see here. So we're off to a great start. But I don't want it to be just like a solid color because boring. So instead, I have mixed up some dye in some spray bottles. And I should probably get some like paper towels too. But I've got some green and I've got some brown. And I'm just gonna kind of spray them on and see what happens. I've got some other ideas too about like layering some, but I just want to kind of get a base coat first and see what happens. It could be terrible. It could be wonderful. If the result really sucks, it doesn't really matter that much because an overlay is actually going to be on this. So you're not going to see that much through the overlay. This is just to give it kind of a base color, but I just didn't want that base color to be solid because I just didn't think it was going to work very well. So here goes nothing. All right. I'm not mad. I'm already not mad at this. Like, it's already looking kind of amazing, if I'm honest. Like, I'm going for like what the ground looks like when you blur out your eyes and you look at a bunch of fallen leaves. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for here. So I feel like we're already achieving that. Like, we're already racking up the wins. I love it. Dyeing the corset did end up taking quite a bit of spray, and I went back a few times to darken the color, but ultimately it turned out really, really beautifully, and I'm so happy with how it came out. And I think it looks great and gives it just enough variation of color underneath the fashion fabric to really give it that fall effect. Welcome back to my kitchen sink again. Today we get to play with fire because I don't know what this fabric is. This is the fabric that I am going to be using for the overlay for my corset, and also there's gonna be like a skirt bit, but I got this fabric secondhand, and so I haven't got the foggiest idea what it is. My suspicion is that it is fully synthetic. I anticipate I'm going to get this close to the fire and it is just going to melt, but it's always good to be sure, so that I know how I can finish it. You can, maybe if the camera will focus or not, you can see that it definitely wants to fray, so I'm going to have to find a way to finish it, whether it's burning the edges or putting in some sort of a hem. I'm actually kind of hoping that it's synthetic because when I tell you that I do not want to sew on this, I'm being so real. I just have a feeling it's slippery, so it's going to slip and slide all over the place, and that is not my favorite thing to sew on. So without further ado, let's play with fire. Safety first, folks. Don't try this at home. Always use good ventilation, etc. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's already melting. Oh yeah. We are definitely synthetic, fully synthetic. There is not a single thing is burning here, or is catching on fire. It is just melting away. All right, so yeah, melting. Oh, it smells like plastic burning too, so that's exciting. But yeah, again, that's actually going to make my life so much easier because instead of hemming this, I'm just going to take a hot knife to all of the edges. And yeah, it's just gonna be so much better than trying to put like a little narrow hem in this. So yay! Okay. And here you can see me being an absolute floor troll, cutting out all of these pieces for the skirt and bodice out of the fashion fabric. My back legitimately was killing me by the time I was done with this. I desperately need to get myself a large enough table to cut at because I cannot keep doing this. Anyway, got all the pieces cut out, and then it was time to play with more fire. Burning to seal all the edges of the fabric did legitimately take quite a long time, but it was a lovely evening and I got to sit out on my balcony, so I think it was really a win. I do realize in hindsight that I absolutely should have been wearing a mask while I was doing this, and I will remember that in the future, but please feel free to remind me of that in the comments. Once I finished sealing all of the edges, I started stitching together all of the pieces of my fashion fabric, and this actually was not as bad as I had feared it would be. I was really nervous that the fabric would slip around all over the place and get caught up in my machine, but it is absolutely amazing what using the correct needle and tension will do. I actually had very few problems stitching this together, so that was really, really exciting. Once I had finished sewing all of the pieces together, then I could hand stitch it to my base layer. I also salvaged some beads and such from various old and falling apart bracelets that I no longer wear anymore and stitched those down to the bodice layer as well, just to give them a little extra flair. And I also went in and hand stitched in some gold embroidery thread all around the edges to give it a little bit of sparkle and shine. Of course, you cannot have an autumn fairy gown without an appropriate crown, so I gathered up some acorn tops and some fall foliage I had lying around and gave them a nice coating of some gold paint. I did, in fact, remember to wear a mask for this part. Once the paint had dried, I very carefully drilled some little holes in the tops of the acorn caps and then used some jewelry wire to thread some faux pearls into the little caps, and then attached those along with the leaves to a little crown. And now, without further ado, I think it's time for the reveal.